Black Video News in San Antonio, Texas, part of Contemporary Black Voices. Today, we've decided our topic is going to be what we see happening in the polls, and that is Black Americans are not necessarily supporting President Joe Biden in the numbers that he probably needs to get reelected. So we thought today we would take on that topic and why are Black folks not supporting Joe Biden? And I'll go to our distinguished Dr. Chadwell to start the discussion.
Okay. So those of you who have listened to the show before, you know how I feel about the R word, reparations. And that is a big topic among a lot of African Americans or Black Americans. And there's been no efforts to resolve that issue to where we get our reparations. We're seeing our money going to Israel. We're seeing it going to the Ukraine, and talk about in the billions, but no effort on our part. We're seeing the United States support other groups. Undocumented migrants are getting support, money going for them, but limited support for Black Americans. We're also seeing no effort in passing an anti-Black crime bill at the federal level. So a lot of Black folks are upset, and rightfully so. Now, when we start looking at this in relation to what's going on in Israel, it's kind of like, where is this money coming from? It's so easy to churn out 10 billion, 11 billion, whatever the billions is, but not have the reparations that resolved. So I personally believe that any aggravation or distrust that a lot of Black Americans have toward the Biden administration is justified.
Well, yeah, okay. And it ties in, I think, to this whole way we have gone 100% with Israel and kind of away from trying to be fair. Trying to be fair, because Palestinians are getting wiped out over it. Let's face it. I mean, it's a slaughter. And so, Caleb, you want to pick it up, this whole issue here?
Yeah, I guess a couple of points. As far as Black support for Biden, just from what I've been hearing as well, there is a bit of ageism involved, just from what I've been able to pick up on social media and through other conversations.
Do you think that's legitimate?
Do I think it's legitimate? It's hard to say. In this particular case, it's hard to say. If you contrast his activities, the way his mannerisms, and Trump is only a year younger, is it? Or they're roughly.
No, I think Trump is 77 now.
77?
Yeah.
And how old is Biden?
80, he'll be 82.
82, okay. I thought they were only like a year or so apart.
No, it's about 5 years different.
5 years apart, okay. So, I mean, even when whether it's valid or not, I've heard him speak, and I've seen some of his mannerisms, some of the way he's spoken before, and I mean, I'll leave it to the individual voter whether their concerns are valid. That's their concerns. But
Well, do you think that Black people are concerned?
I do
about that.
I do. I really do. That's what I picked up on social media. That's one of the things I picked up on, and in other conversations. That they want someone who's a lot younger, who's a lot more in tune to today's.
Well, wait a minute. What are you saying? You can't be in your 80s and be in tune to what's happening in contemporary world? Give me a break.
Well, a lot of folks were saying, look, we're no longer on the Edward Pettus Bridge. Things have changed. We're in an AI age now. And so
what do you mean we're not still on the Edward Pettus Bridge?
We are.
No,
no, we're not. We know we've moved forward there. You know, we're hanging our hats a lot on. Let me
I'm
finish.
trying to help
Let
you.
me finish. Let me finish. Let me finish. I keep hearing, we keep hanging our hats on what has been done in the past. And I'm going to say thank you, thank you, thank you. But now we are in the 21st century, and there's a lot of, there's different perspectives on what needs to be done for Black Americans. Now, one of the things we have to remember is in terms of Joe Biden, let's don't forget that Joe Biden, probably placed, based on his leading that case against Clarence Thomas, he basically put Clarence Thomas in the Supreme Court. And what has it done?
Cut off the hearing.
And what has it done for Black Americans? And so again, I can definitely understand the millennials and their concerns about what's in it for me now. You know, as I said, what's in it for me? They're seeing, again, the undocumented workers get money. They're seeing the Asians cry out 1 month, and next month they have the anti-Asian crime bill. The Ukrainians have gotten money, although the administration appears to be very, very pro-Israel. If those Palestinians start coming to the United States, I bet you there's going to be money open up for them. And so the question is, where is this Xerox machine that's copying all this money for other folks? And we've been asking for two things. And it's not no Juneteenth celebration. Anti-Black hate crime bill to be passed and reparations.
And then let me also, I'm gonna jump in here with Doc real quick. So there's nothing, absolutely nothing stopping him from creating, at the very least, a presidential commission to study reparations.
I studied, they've been studying.
But I mean, I'm just saying something within his power.
Well, no.
He could even create a presidential commission.
That's window dressing.
Yeah.
Because they've
Show us
been,
something.
did they do any studies for the anti-Asian hate crime bill?
No. I'm just,
What about studying for, any studies on these undocumented workers coming in, migrants? There's no study. And when it pertains to Black folks, this is the biggest study I've ever seen. But I don't know what it's a qualitative study or a quantitative study. I don't even know what the problem statement is.
I'm just
Professor,
Let me
can I-
get over- let me get over here. He's been hitting me.
Okay.
You know, like what,
He's
no,
ready to.
you know what McCarthy did to that guy yesterday when he hit me.
Let's get in the middle. Yeah.
He's been doing that to me. So let me get over here to this brother. Go ahead.
Look, I got a lot to say, okay? I got a whole lot to say. First of all,
Say it.
I am, okay? It's going to be against all of you, okay? First of all, you want to say our money. We ain't got no damn money, okay? Money, when you talk about reparations, that they've taken our money and misdirected it, and I know what you mean, that is money that could have maybe went to us or whatever. But when Caleb talks about forming a commission and different things like that, from a political standpoint, that can't happen, and especially for a first-year term president. If you want him really to win, and that's what really kind of pisses me off when we begin to talk about Black people and Black voters, or whether or not he's losing votes and different things like that. You got to look at the totality of the whole picture. The totality of the whole picture is that we have, first of all, America has become a melting pot. Okay, so we've got all these different kinds of people that are in America. You've got the Jewish people who are over here. You've got a large Palestinian group of people who live in the United States. So when Biden comes out and says, pro-Israel, well, he's older. He's the guy that the United States has always said that it is the wrong thing to say. Okay, it definitely is the wrong, because now not only has he pissed off some of the Black folks and he ain't gave us our money, he's redirected our money. At the same time, you've got the Palestinians who are in America who are saying, we don't agree with that. So when you're America, you really have to take a different type of view. And especially when you're a first-term president, there's a lot of things that you can and cannot do. And the last thing that I'll say is that before we can even get to that, and they talk about I'm talking about black folks and different folks like that, and what we can expect, especially as it comes to reparations and so forth, we got a damn problem. The problem is we didn't elect the people who's in there, which is predominantly MAGA folks who ain't gonna vote for anything that we want, period. Okay? And then they're in office, and then we want to blame the shit on Biden.
Watch your language.
Watch my language.
Yeah, watch
Okay.
Let me tell. Okay, so here's the deal with Biden, with black folks. Let's start with his choice of vice president. We were never hot on her. We were never even warm on her. You know what I mean? And so,
Wait, what do you mean?
She said something to the fact that she was interviewed talking about, what are you going to do for black folks? Oh, no. I'm not going to do anything specific for black folks. He said that.
What do you mean we weren't hot on her?
I don't know anybody who in my circle who was hot on. Who was
Oh, my
really
God.
hot on Kamala.
I think black women were very, very, very high up on Kamala.
Here's
They
what
may
you-
have, they may have one on a different one, but I think,
Since
yeah.
she's been there, what has she done?
What has any vice president done?
hold on. Let's be fair. The vice president's job, it was one of the vice presidents under Roosevelt said the job isn't worth but woman spit. You
No,
know, because
you
you
can-
don't, your job is to be a yes person for the president. That's your only job.
Because Obama gave Biden a portfolio when he was in office.
That was different.
Oh, wait.
That broke the mold.
Wait.
No, Obama did. He really did.
Obama broke the mold.
Yeah.
Cheney ran the White House when he was in office. when he and George was in the
Right,
White
yeah.
House. So
Yeah.
that's two in a row. Okay. So we go back one more. We go back Clinton. Al Gore had the environmental portfolio. He was out there. He was talking about the environment.
You're making my
you
point,
can
my
elevate
brother.
your
You're making
vice
my
president.
But that's my point.
She has not done
But
anything
no,
in any way.
Biden has to do that.
Folks, this is hot topics.
Bush gave that right to Cheney. We all know that. He ran everything.
Because Bush didn't want to do nothing.
He didn't want to do
Right.
He wanted to party.
Right.
You can have a vice president with a portfolio. You can have
But
a vice
it
president
depends
that's
on the
vocal.
president.
So
It depends on the president.
But let me say this to Caleb. It worked. He's the
worked?
president. Having Kamala Harris there, okay, now I think even possibility, he's never going to admit it, but Trump wants to look at possibly having Tim Scott.
this is
But
the
my
deal.
point is that,
What he done to her, she'll never be president now.
okay, I agree with that.
She made that decision.
Who?
Kamala made that decision. Yeah.
She wasn't going to get anywhere.
She shouldn't have taken on the office of vice president if she had. Well, usually that opens up the door,
It
and you
usually
can't
does.
say that right now.
Right.
You
So
can't
he
say
has
that
done- we can
because.
agree that he has done her a disservice.
Oh yeah. But,
Okay.
So
then-
that's not her fault.
But
Is
it
what I'm
goes back.
saying.
It also goes back to why are black people not excited for Biden, right? So when we look at Biden and we look at the Democratic Party, it's like you have nowhere else to go, right? That's the message. Because if you don't vote for the Democrats, Trump's going to get in office, right?
Right.
That's the argument.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the
Right.
argument. You're not going to see enthusiasm. Nobody is an enthusiastic hostage. You understand what I'm saying? So we know what we have to do, but the enthusiasm is not there. It's not going to be there.
But
You know what I mean?
my only point with you all is you can't blame her. You blame the president because he could have given, like you said, Bush, because he wanted to party, gave the White
Cheney.
House to Cheney. Obama gave Biden a lot of responsibility. A great example is Lyndon Baines Johnson. Kennedy treated Lyndon Baines Johnson like a nobody.
Yeah, because they didn't like each other.
They didn't like each other.
Right.
Yeah, Bobby Kennedy didn't like Johnson.
Even Reagan, he gave George a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, because he was sleeping all the time. They was everywhere. The word in Washington D.C., all they just woke up
Lord.
Reagan to make a speech.
Wasn't Nancy the president?
Nancy was the president.
Nancy and
yeah.
George, right? So
Yeah.
you have a tradition, you have a history in the later part of the 20th century where vice presidents have, and in this century, where vice presidents have asserted themselves. They've taken on portfolios.
Caleb, you keep saying that, man. They only assert themselves as much as the president will allow them to do.
I'll give you. Okay.
Biden has not done. You just said it a few minutes ago.
So
He's
even-
done her a
I'll concede-
disservice.
So I'll concede that, right? So he's done her a disservice. So why would we be enthusiastic about him?
Because of what you just said before. What's the alternative?
Right. So
The
we should
alternative.
be enthusiastic.
Well, no, because first of all, you had a chance to participate, and I include myself in this. But when you talk about black folks or Democrats or however you want to slice the pie, there should be no reason why those people who are in Congress, who's basically wrangling a circus up there, there's no reason why they should be in office. And so when you then come back and you talk about either reparations or can't get the voting rights bill passed or whatever, you got them yo-yos that you got to go through.
We have to vote here. We can't control.
What do you
the
mean vote who? Here,
We
where?
have to vote here, right?
You got the same problem here.
We can't vote in Iowa. We can't elect the people in all those rural congressmen that come from Montana and Nebraska and Idaho. And
No, wait a
we
minute.
can't elect them. Those folks got sent to the office by their
that's true in their
Right.
district, but in their state, fortunately, there's enough black folks probably in a lot of those states that they could have won. There's no reason why East Texas right now should be sending anybody white any place with all the black folks that's between Houston and Texarkana. Period.
The Electoral College works in our favor because where we're heavily populated, they have the large number of electoral votes. If you take, I think you could be, if you could carry like the top 7 states with electoral votes, you could be elected president of the United States. And we are concentrated in those places. But I think what Sharon said, and I'll go back just a little further than she did, talking about how he could have done more to stop Thomas from becoming a Supreme Court justice. Also, remember, he pushed that crime bill.
Yeah.
3 strikes and you're out, I think. He pushed that crime bill. So if you look at him, I think if you look at his record, you can see that he's never really been real friends to black people. And now the way he's treating Kamala Harris is another indication. So, but what's I think we need to look at what is the result if we don't vote for Biden.
Right. So right now the polls are really, they judge enthusiasm. That's what these early polls do.
Absolutely.
So again, we're not going to be enthusiastic hostages. We have no place to go. We have to march into the polls.
Excuse me,
We
my
have to
good
vote
brother.
Democrat.
Okay, you said we have to vote Democrat.
We have to vote Democrat because of the alternative, right? But you're not going to, it's not going to show any kind of early enthusiasm for having to do that.
Let me give an alternative to that because I'm glad you brought up we have to vote Democrat. In my opinion, because of what's going on with Palestine and Israel, what's going on with black folks and whatever, the discontent that we have, we're not being happy or whatever, what if we began to, and I don't know who that person is, but there needs to be a talk to say, hey, maybe some of those Palestinians, why don't you come over and be with us? Why don't we be with some other folks who are of like-minded? Why don't we have somebody who is, this is the yes party, the Republican Party is the no party. We need to change the dynamic of what the party is as opposed to accepting the party the way it always has been. And I think that that's the way it should
running
be.
out of time. So let me-
Democratic Party or the Republican Party?
Huh?
Change what party?
let me
Democratic
Change the Democratic Party.
Okay, let me get back because we're about to run out of time. Sharon, what's the alternative?
Well, we already know that the Democrats have depended on black people to vote. And so if you look at mainstream news now, online news, there is a panic among the Democratic leadership. And if they're going to pass, if they go ahead and do what we ask them to do, they've got to implement it and follow through on the implementation of what they need to do. And don't be giving us the anti-black crime bill 2 days before Christmas next year. They need to start doing something now because Because if they want our votes, give us what we asked for.
Okay, I must be a terrible moderator because I can't get anyone to zero in on our closing question.
What's the
What
closing question?
That
is
the
our
que-
alternative?
I'm telling you, give us what we
No,
asked
what
for.
is our alternative? If we don't support Biden, let me put it this way. If we don't support Biden,
No.
what is our alternative?
Well, we stay home.
Do we vote for Trump
We stay home.
and Trump gets elected?
Well, we already know that's going to be a chaos right there. But it's one type of situations to where we backed ourselves into a corner. We should have demanded things or had leaders who demanded things a while back to where now it's kind of like, do we vote? Do we not vote? Do we stay home? You know, yes, we are ticked off at the Democratic Party right now.
Okay, what's our alternatives?
First of
Or do
all,
we have one?
well, yeah, we don't have one.
Okay.
But look, first of all, we got to understand where we are, okay? And there ain't a damn thing that we can do, even at the 9th hour of 2024, to try to pass or put a bill in place. Them yahoos that's up there in the Republican Party don't want you to have this, and they want us to be having this conversation that we're having right now. The Republicans have a long-term plan. We have to go and look at a long-term plan as well, because the people that they've put in place have been put in place to stop us, to stop the Democrats, and to stop anybody who's liberal. So that can be white, black, they don't care what color they are. They just want to be able to stop some people. So we've got to be able to look at the long range plan. If those are the things that we want, we can't just want them like right now and expect for them to happen and somebody at a stroke of a pen and to make it happen. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Me. So,
Okay.
here's the deal.
Okay.
The clinical definition of insanity
Is to do the
is
same
do the same thing
over.
over and expect a different result.
Yeah.
We
Agreed.
keep going in there voting for the same folks, and we keep getting the same results.
Okay.
And they're dependent on that. In order to pass the stopgap measures, the budget, right?
Mm-hmm.
They depended on the Democrats. They depended on the Democratic votes again to bail them out, right? He had more Democrats vote for him than his own party.
Right.
He was
Right.
not happy with it either.
Not in this last one.
This last one,
Yeah, this last one.
this
last one.
the very last.
Yeah, they told him he didn't make 2 strikes.
It was more Democrats that voted for him and voted for this bill than his own
Oh,
party.
that's right. Yeah, because about
so-
93 Republicans voted
Yeah.
against it.
So why keep saving?
Why? What?
Why keep saving? Sometimes you got to give people what they want. My thing is this: if they want to keep running out into the middle of the street, sometimes you just got to let them go get hit. That's what I'm saying. If we stop saving the Democrats have to stop saving the Republicans and let these folks have what they want. They want a society that's ungovernable. Let them have it. Let them see what it looks like. Let them look into that abyss. That's what I'm saying. Give the white folks what they want.
Okay, folks. None of my compatriots answered my question. So I'm gonna invite you, please,
your answer?
to go. There is no alternative. We have to support.
Didn't I say that?
We have to, we have to, we have
what
to
they want.
support Biden, I think.
Don't vote.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, no, don't
but
say that.
Let's have our viewers answer the question. Please go and make your comment. What if we don't support Biden? What is our alternative? And so this is the Contemporary Black Voices with our hot topics, as usual, being very hot. And we'll see you next time. In the meantime, we're telling our story our way.